Hey, friends and strangers. This is Chris over at Modern Fantastic. Hope everybody's doing well. Last night I got to hang out with some people outside of the old house here, and we watched a movie called Waiting for Guffman. Never saw it in my life. I'm not a theater person per se, although my partner is, and she loves the movie. And anyone that's been intimately involved in a community theater production apparently really enjoys this movie too because it's all the inside jokes that have collected um, over the course of a production or mini. Anyway, a lot of fun. And yeah, so things are changing when it comes to COVID, and it's great. Um, Everybody was vaccinated and everything, so I feel comfortable with the 5 people that were there. Anyway, I am posting this as a kind of a quick video blog. It's not going to be very long, I don't think. Maybe it will. I like to talk. And it's concerning a previous post about editors and different types of editors that are available. I received several messages from people about how there are more than just those editors that I had listed out there and available. And there are 3 that were kind of listed, and I did my own, or 2 that were listed actually, and I did my own research, and I found a couple of another one to kind of talk about, and I'm deciding to do that now. The 3 are the critique partners, the sensitivity readers, and the beta readers. I personally believe all 3 of those are editors in their own rights. So I think that they bear talking about, and I will. And these experiences are my own, and the conversation I'm having here is my own. Everyone's experiences are different. Everyone has a different life they live, and so if my opinion doesn't ring true to you, and what I'm saying is different from your experience and the things are different, I appreciate that, and I'm not speaking for everyone, so please understand that. So first off, critique partner is a reference to a person that works with you that you guys swap materials and swap projects, where the assumption is you critique their work, they critique your work. It is a symbiotic and healthy relationship, and everything works out great. I have had a couple critique partners in my life. My writing has been was so eclectic, or so convoluted and complex and unapproachable that the balance was off, and those critique partners were kind of floundering when it came to my work. They didn't have interest in it per se to read it because it was just so florid, I guess. While I read their work easily, and I critiqued. Anyway, you got to find someone that really works for you, and you work for them. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here, a roundabout way. I think that critique partners are awesome. If you find one that mutually works well with you, I consider them golden. But they are writers as well. Some of these writers do really good editing work and really good critique work, and can really kind of break down a story, and others can't. And I feel like a critique partner should be approached. The idea of a critique partner should be approached from writers helping writers. It's not the same as editors helping writers. They can be different fields. Interestingly enough, different focal points, different areas of expertise. Second are sensitivity readers. They exist because they perform a very needed function to go through your work and make certain that any group of people that you are representing in your work has been properly researched and given the proper respect they deserve as a group of people. This helps to avoid stereotypes, marginalization, tokenism, propping up, ministerial language, all that kind of stuff. And they're phenomenal. I believe that sensitivity readers should be paid, and I believe that sensitivity readers are incredibly important. But you got to find the right one too. You got to find the right people. That being said, there's a lot of talk on Twitter, and this is kind of a hot button topic, and so I'm gonna approach this gently, and kind of with a warning, I guess, not a warning, a caveat. That sounds better. Where I believe there are 2 groups of people in this conversation, and in the larger inclusivity conversation as a whole. I think there's one group that says We need as many allies as we can get. Everyone has this place at the table if they would like to educate themselves and have the uncomfortable conversations and learn and grow. Just be an ally. There's that group of people that I belong to that I'm a big fan of. And then there's a group of people that says, you white people have had your chance, or you men have had your chance, or you able-bodied people have had your chance. You messed up. And every time you write something, you are taking someone else's voice away from the table. So don't write about marginalized groups because you're not part of that. Let someone from the marginalized group write about it and then support them. That's kind of a zero-sum conversation, in my opinion. I feel like there's this belief that if I write the books I like to write and then have a African American person in the conversation, and they are well researched and well represented, that's still not okay. I don't know how, personally, I don't know how, and this is a conversation that is ongoing and it's a developmental thing, and this is kind of beside what I'm talking about here, but I don't know how to move forward in that kind of space. So therefore, I don't want to be a part of that space, if that makes sense. Like, I've never been published, so the idea of shut up and get out of the way is like, I got it, but I've never been published, so I'm not in the way. And even if I was published, I don't think I'm in the way. Again, I don't think this is a zero-sum conversation. And by zero-sum, I mean, in order for me to be successful, someone else has to be not successful. I don't think that's the case, especially with writing. But I do feel like I have my privilege, and I have all sorts of ways and opportunities to heighten, elevate, and amplify other people's works and other people's stories, which is equally as important, but it's not the same discussion. It's in a similar field, but not the same thing. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that even if you hire a sensitivity reader that's really good, and they find every shortcoming and they make everything look great, and they tell you, hey, you're doing great, tweak this and this is not that good, and maybe leave that part out. Even if you do all that, there will always be people out there that say, you are white, or you are a man, or you are X, therefore you should not have this character in your book. And that's just a point of fact. It no matter what, you can't make everybody happy all the time. And that is, I think it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I understand that this needs to be a moving conversation. I just prefer to be in the group of everyone's welcome at the table, let's work together kind of thing. So sensitivity readers, very important. Especially if you have any kind of representation that's not your own. So third is the beta reader. And beta reader is someone who reads your work as someone who loves the genre or field and gives honest feedback on it once they're finished. So it's kind of like in critique circle, it's one of those like review at the end of the story. That's a style of writing you can do where you read this short story, the novel, the chapter length or whatever. And at the end you say, I really liked how you did this. I enjoyed this part. These characters really stood out as fun. I could really connect to this. The villain is not two-dimensional, that kind of thing. The idea of a beta reader is great. Just like the idea of a critique partner is great. But there's no guarantee that they will give you much of anything in any decent amount of time. And it has been my experience personally that beta readers can spend up to 8 months on a work. They can spend up to never finishing the work and never telling you. And so I think it's really important to kind of, if you don't know the person, kind of have boundaries set up before you approach them as a beta reader, as an interest in needing a beta reader. And another thing I want to talk about, because this is not as nearly as big of a hot button conversation piece as sensitivity readers and a white person writing a non-white character. But there's a lot of people out there that say that beta readers should not be paid, that they will never pay for a beta reader. And that's silly. And if that's your experience, great. I completely understand that, and more power to you. Like, if you find good beta readers for free and they give you get information back to you in a timely manner. Like, honestly, the idea is if you're a established, published writer that has a consistent following, you will not be in need of beta readers. You can find someone that you can trust to read it and get back with you in a timely manner with helpful, healthy feedback. The beta readers I've largely experienced, and I'm saying this because even though I have a couple beta readers that are reading some of my work right now, and I'm really excited to hear back from them. So please understand that it's not the same. It's not always going to be the exact same situation. But I feel like beta readers should be paid. Like, spot them a tenner, spot them $20. Like, they're spending at least 6 hours of one day reading your work and giving you honest feedback. They should be compensated for that time, in my opinion. And now I understand there's a lot of people who can't afford to spend that kind of money. There are a lot of people that are in a place that don't have that kind of currency to spend on this. I completely get it. But I feel like anybody that takes time out of their day to read something of yours should be compensated. And if you know these people, like if they're friends or family or whatever, and they give great feedback, buy them a pizza, share a beer, give them tickets to a baseball game or something. Well, that's a really big beta read, but that kind of thing. Like if you're going to be asking for help, reciprocate, do something nice for them. I feel like beta readers should be paid because the beta readers that I have paid in the past have been far more thorough and far more expedient when it comes to their reading, and actually seem to have more of an interest in reading and giving back honest feedback. And I'm literally using the exact same beta readers for the unpaid work and the paid work. They go, as far from my experience, people like to feel valued and not just being taken advantage of. And that's kind of what it boils down to. So if you don't want to pay your beta readers and if you can't afford to pay beta readers, completely get it. If you find good beta readers for free, I totally get it. But from my experience, beta readers are great and they work better when they feel valued, in my opinion. And I think that's just a basic humanity thing, maybe. Anyway, those are the three, and I know I kind of went into politics just a little bit here, and I know it's important for me to talk about, to kind of get that kind of information out there. I know I don't have much of a following or anything like that, but I think it's healthy to talk about. So if you guys have any questions or comments about this or any other posts I have, please let me know. I would love to hear your insights on this and any kind of other people's experiences. Like, I'm just one guy, and as much as I can read about other people's experiences online or in real life, it's not the same as talking to other people. So let me know, and hope you have a great day, and take care, guys. Happy Friday. Bye. Like what you see? Please like, follow, comment, do your thing. And as always, keep writing, my friends.